construction video. This box is the Peridot Gift Box, and it's a really cool versatile one because you can make 4-sided, 6-sided or 8-sided boxes from it really easily. And also if you really liked the terrarium gift box die set, this one is kind of a similar concept, the way it has the bottom piece and then you have the top piece that goes on top. The terrarium one went to a point, but these ones have flat tops, but I just thought I'd mention that it's a kind of similar concept if you like that box. And I reckon, because I did a construction video showing how to make it into a chocolate orange holder, I reckon this one you could do something similar and make that into a chocolate orange holder as well if you do the 8-sided one. So as I said, you can make 8-sided, 6-sided, 4-sided, and you have all of the pieces to do that as well. It's not just me fiddling around with it and making them smaller. You get all of the pieces to make them all the different sizes, because the only thing you need differently is different quantities of the top and bottom pieces, but also the shapes as well. So you get little square dies in the die set because you need one square to do the bottom and a smaller square to do the top. And the same with the octagonal one, you need a bigger octagon on the bottom and a smaller octagon on the top. And I'm going to show you how to put together the hexagonal one, and you need the larger hexagon for the bottom and the smaller hexagon for the top. And you have the perfect size ones in the set, and you also have different decorative elements that can go on top of them too. There is a little one that can go on top of that one as well. But yeah, so I've already made the 8-sided and the 4-sided, but I thought I'd show you the construction with the 6-sided because it's exactly the same for all of them. They do vary in height when you make them because you're using the same pieces, but when you're spreading it out with more dies, you're getting a flatter top and a flatter bottom. So if I show you the largest and the smallest, if you look at the bottoms, they're made from the same die, but because we're adding more sides in to this one, it's flatter. Like that looks like it's maybe maximum 1 centimetre deep on that one, but this is more like 2 centimetres because you've got less sides, so when it curves up together, you're getting a steeper like gradient. And the same with the top as well. The top of the 4-sided one is a bit bigger than the top of the 8-sided one, and obviously this one is going to come somewhere in between them, so I'll show you them all together when I finish them as well. And there's loads of different ways of decorating them. These two have got the same panel on them. This one's the other panel that you get. This one I cut the intricate panel, stuck it onto another piece of card, and then added Nuvo drops on all the detail. And this one I cut the intricate one into the box, put some plain card behind it inside, and then I stuck the little tiny gems on them from the Nuvo crystal gems. You get the really tiny ones in there, so they work perfectly in the centres of the flowers. If you're not so good with your Nuvo drops and getting them perfect, you can easily do this. That you do need quite a lot of gems. When I was adding drops of glue on the sides, I think I added like 20 drops of glue to stick each of the gems on, so it's like 80, and then inside there as well, probably near 100 gems to do that, but for someone special, you know. And then I've also used the larger sizes as the flower centres on this one as well. And the flowers don't come in the die set, they come in the heart-shaped gift box that came out a while ago, but you do get these ruffly shaped ones that are supposed to go on the top of the boxes to sort of decorate, this sort of ruffly one. But if you put the hexagonal and octagonal ones together and sort of snip into them, they make quite a cool ruffly flower as well. So you know, if you want to make it all from the same die set, that makes a nice little ruffly flower as well. And I've used some of the other Nuvo gemstones on the top of that too. That's the amethyst squares and the rose triads too. So let's get on with the 6-sided box. So for the 6-sided box, you need 3 of each of the pieces. For the 2-sided you need 2 of, for the 4-sided you need 2 of each, and for the 8-sided you need 4 of each. You can actually get all of these out of one piece of A4. If you cut them like this, if you cut your A4 piece into like 10.5 centimetre strips, like a sort of DL size, they will fit on there perfectly. well, actually you need to cut them into just less than 10, but yeah, they fit. You can get all of the pieces out of an A4 is basically what I'm saying, and then you just need a tiny bit of extra card to cut out the two hexagons to go on the top and the bottom of them. For the glue tabs, you want to, for the small piece, you want to add it along all of these glue tabs that you have there. Really obvious where they are on this one. And on this one, you have the long one down the side, and then you have these shorter ones next to the triangles, because these triangular parts make that cool faceted look on the top, which I think is why they've called this the Peridot Gift Box, because Peridot's like a cut stone. And it really looks like a cut stone with all the sort of triangle elements inside them as well. So that is where you need to put all of your tape. And then for this one, I actually cut the panels out using one of the satin mirror cards. I think it's called Red Velvet from Tonic. And I used the intricate edge on this one, which is sort of a cool, like, it looks like deckled edge scissors. You know, you used to get those scissors that cut patterns. It looks like that. And then this gorgeous panel, it's got like a rose and another rose, and then sort of a tulipy kind of flower and a daisy as well. It's really pretty. And so I cut that out, then I stuck that onto some double-sided adhesive and added some gold glitter to it, and then I just trimmed around the edges and stuck them on, because they're like stickers then, because they've got double-sided adhesive on them. So it saves you having to put adhesive behind all the little intricate areas if you're using double-sided, which is kind of the reason why I was doing it, because it sort of saves a bit of time. Yeah, and I've done that for all of the panels, because for these boxes you get the little tiny triangles to decorate up here, and you also get all of these elements too. These ones are going to get hidden inside the box when it's made, but you've got them there so it looks pretty when someone opens it. And these ones, you probably don't need to put them on the 8-sided one, because it will end up being on the bottom. It will be these pieces, so you won't really see it. But for the 4-sided and 6-sided, you might as well add them in if you want to, because you'll be able to see it from the side. I didn't on this one, but you can see on the 4-sided box you could really be able to see that decoration. So let's start with the bottom of the box. So for the bottom of the box, we need that slightly larger hexagon. When you're making these, you can put this, you're going to put all of these 3 pieces together first and then stick this on. So if you're not quite sure which size of the hexagon, octagon, square dies that you get in the die set to use for the top and the bottom, just put everything together first, then place the die on top, just check that's the right one and then cut it out. That's what I was doing. But obviously I knew what size it was going to be because I've already made one of these. So yeah. So to make the bottom half, we're going to just take the red liner tape off of these 3 tabs, one on each of them, on the top pieces, and then we're literally just going to place them all together, just lining up the side, the cut line of one to the score line of the next one next to it, just like that. And then we'll do the other one as well. And you can see here you're getting a kind of curved shape because of the angle of the side of the box as well. And then you're just going to fold that around. You can do the thing where you lay it flat and stick it on, because it's got an even number of sides. So we can just press that down. So actually, if you were making these to sell, I suppose you'd have to give some instruction of how to put the bottom piece together, but they would kind of go flat pack. You know, if you hadn't finished assembling them all. And then the next part, we've now got 6 tabs to do because they're all in separate pieces rather than 2 together. So we're now going to take off all of these. I just take them all off at once just because you know, the little bits of red are really annoying and staticky, so I tend to just try and take them all off at once so it's less annoying. But if this is the first time you're making one of these, you might want to do 2 or 3 tabs at a time. So then all we do is we just follow that, lining up the cut edge of one to the fold edge of the other, and then it automatically just brings that shape in for you, which I just love Tonic dies. They're so easy to use. Imagine trying to work all of this out, and you know, I like angles and stuff, but I think I'd get it quite a lot of it wrong, and you know, you'd sort of be annoyed with yourself. But anyway, the dies make it so much easier. So that is the bottom of the 6-sided one, and then you can see what I was talking about. So if you're not sure which size of hexagon, I mean, it's kind of simple from the dies that you get, but I wasn't quite sure to begin with which size of hexagon or octagon, whatever, or square that I would need, because they're kind of like, you get a little set of sort of layering dies inside the set. But all you do is you just take the die. Imagine this was just the, oh, here's the die actually, still got it here. So this is what I did. I put one together, then I took the die and went, oh yeah, that's the perfect size. So then I just cut it out, and then you have the perfect sized bottom piece for your box. So that's all you do to figure out what size one you need. So I'm just going to take off all of the glue tabs for this one. And then we just want to place the bottom piece on. Just make sure all the sides are where you want them. Press it down as much as you can, then flip it over and press it from the inside. And for the square one, you might want to like push a ball tool down just to make sure all the glue tabs are done, but you can get your hands in the 6 and the 8-sided ones. So that is now the bottom of the box, and we can compare the sizes. So that is the 8-sided one, then the 6-sided one, and then we also have the little 4-sided one as well. So actually, if you decorated these like minimally, you could actually make like a nesting set of them maybe. Oh no, the height would be a problem, but they do fit inside each other, yeah, because you can see here they're all different heights, so actually the height would be a problem, but that would be cool if that would work. But anyway, so that is the size difference between the different ones that you can make from this one set. I just wanted to show that. So to make the top portion now, so the bottom portion is done, really easy, and then to do the top one we want to kind of do the same thing where we take off the long glue flaps first, so we can make the whole top piece, and then we'll fiddle around with the top sort of gem piece afterwards. So we want to do that one on there, and this is just lining up that cut line with the fold line here. It's really simple to do. That's basically all you've got to remember when you're putting together any of Tonic boxes. You know, they're just that you're basically just butting up that cut line to the fold line, and again it's got an even number of sides, so we can fold that down and this one will go perfectly. So we've now got the top piece that is going to fit on to that perfectly. It's a little bit more of a snug fit when you've decorated these panels, but it does still fit. And for this one I wasn't really thinking, and I stuck gems on this piece, and then I was like, oh no, it's probably not going to go together. But if you see on this one, I sort of just, when I stuck these two panels together, I left a little gap on both sides, so then that still fits over the top of it, even though there are gems inside there, it still fits. So you can just think about that when you're putting them together. Then, so the next part is really simple actually. We're just going to take off the red liner tape for the next section, which is next to the triangle areas, and we're going to leave that top one on because that's how you just put the top of the box on. So we just want to take all of these off. It does get a little tiny bit fiddly, but because there's sort of not enough space to get your fingers in when you get round to the last one. But again, if you have the little pegs, you can always keep it together with the pegs to help you as well. So you're literally just putting that cut line up against the score line, really simple. And it's bringing in that kind of gem shape on the top of the box perfectly for you. And then the last one's probably the most tricky, just because there's not enough room to get both of your hands inside. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. So then you've just got that gorgeous sort of like cut gemstone sort of look on the top of the box. And then again, all I did for this one was I looked at the dies and then I went, oh yeah, that one's going to fit absolutely perfectly. And then I cut it out, and I did the same thing that I did for the panel dies, and I cut it out of that red velvet card and put the glitter behind it as well. So all we need to do now is take off the red liner tape. And I did stick that onto another piece of card as well, so you didn't have the adhesive exposed on the back of it, because otherwise there would be a sticky bit inside the box. Okay, there's one more piece. It's kind of tricky to tell if you've taken the backing off when you're working on red card, but it's not too bad. And then all you do is place that on top of it. And then this is where that, like a ball tool or your creasing tool will come in handy. You just poke that down the end of the box and press all of those glue tabs down really firmly. And there's the finished box. So that now goes inside there perfectly. Let's zoom out again. And you've got the gorgeous sort of cut stone look on top of the box, and this is the size difference between the different boxes as well. So as you can see, if I line up the bottom of the top piece, you can see the tops get bigger the smaller the box is, and the bottoms get bigger the smaller the box is, from how I explained in the beginning as well. But I just think they're such nice boxes. I just love this 8-sided one. I don't know why, as soon as I made it I was just like, it looks so cool. It kind of reminds me of like the Genesis arc from Doctor Who, but anyway. Yeah, so that is the Peridot Gift Box die set from Tonic, and hopefully I'll do an up-close video looking at the die set as well. But this is just the construction video. This part might be at the end of the up-close video, but I like to do the construction video separately, just in case you've bought the die set and you're coming onto YouTube and you're searching in trying to find how to put it together. I thought having a separate construction video will be useful. It'll be useful for me as well. Like years to come, you might forget how to put them together, but if you've always got like a video there, makes it much easier. You don't have to remember then. You can just go and watch it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you to see how the box goes together. And then obviously for the 8-sided you're adding one extra panel into the one I showed you, and for the 4-sided you're using one less panel, so it's exactly the same process for putting them together. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye!